Hi and welcome to Ivy English. I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is the 17th of December. We're on page 49 of the magazine, and today we're going to talk about the Little Known Tapir.
我们的中文标题是萌，包着尿布的马来貘。那这个 tapir 就是马来貘。
Yeah, and they're dead cute, really.
他们非常可爱的。
I mean, in cartoons. I've never seen one in real life.
OK. 卡通里面非常可爱了这个真实的这个马来貘呢，可能很多人也没看过。
So, let's read the article and find out about tapirs. Some of the first words everyone learns in their own language are animal names. What kid can't identify a monkey, a kangaroo, or an owl? There is one animal, though, that even most adults can't recognize, the tapir. If you're scratching your head, don't feel bad. No English speaker would expect you to know that animal's name because most also don't know of it. Various species of tapirs have existed for at least 20 million years. But today only 4 or 5 species remain. The one species that can be found here in Asia is the Malayan tapir. This is the largest of all remaining tapir species, reaching 2.5 meters in length and 300 kilograms in weight. Don't let that bulk fool you. It can reach a running speed of up to 48 kilometers an hour. You wouldn't want to be in its way. Fortunately for people, tapirs are strictly vegetarian. Like elephants, the Malayan tapir has a prehensile snout, meaning it can use its nose to grasp objects. The tapir's trunk, though shorter than an elephant's, can be used as a snorkel in the water, where a tapir spends much of its time. It is an excellent swimmer and can even walk along the bottom of rivers. Malayan tapir babies couldn't be cuter. They're about the size of a watermelon when they are born and have reddish-brown fur with white stripes and dots. Mature adult tapirs, however, look different. They have black fur on their front and back and are white or gray in the middle. If you have never seen or even heard of tapirs before, they are just one of the many wonderful surprises Mother Nature has in store for you. So, yeah, tapirs, they're cute, actually, in a large sort of way. But they're also a really interesting animal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the first words everyone learns in their own language are animal names, begins our article. This is a nice way to begin an article. You're going from the general down to the specific. So first we talk about learning animal names, then we talk about actual animal names, and then we go down to the animal we're talking about, and then we tell you it's okay if you haven't heard of it.
Yeah, 好，所以这个文章的开头呢是一种很好用而且常见的一种开头，就是慢慢的缩小范围一开始说这个很多人一开始学语言的时候呢，先学到就是动物的名称然后呢慢慢把它缩小这个例如哪些动物的名称大家都知道，然后再慢慢告诉你说但是有一种动物的名称你可能不知道这样子慢慢的顺序的铺陈。那我们看到第一句话他说some of the first words everyone learns 每一个人学到的第一个字里面的有一些字呢就你第一首先学到一些字里面，其中有一些一定是什么呢？是 animal names， 是动物的名称那接下来中间还谈到一个 in their own language， 所以每一个人在学他的母语的时候呢，最先学会的字里面一定有几个是 animal names， 是动物的名称。
So what kid can't identify a monkey, a kangaroo, or an owl?
What kid can't 就是哪一个孩子没办法做到这一件事呢？意思就是每一个孩子都做得到。所以哪一个孩子没有办法 identify， 没有办法认出来猴子袋鼠还是猫头鹰呢？每一个小孩只要他开始识字了，很快他就会认得这些东西。
There is one animal, though, that even most English-speaking adults can't recognize, the tapir. Of course, if you're Malaysian, you will recognize it right away.
当然啦，如果你是马来西亚人，你当然就马上认得，但是其他的国家的人不见得会认得。所以他这里讲到说 There's one animal though， 虽然如此，虽然大家都首先认识的都动物的名称，但是有一种动物的名称怎么样 That even most adults， 甚至于大多数的成人，不要说小孩的，连成人可能都没有办法 recognize， 没有办法认出来它的名字什么东西呢？就是我们今天要讲的这个貘。
If you're scratching your head because you don't recognize the name, don't feel bad. No English speaker would expect you to know that animal's name because most also don't know of it.
好，所以接下来他讲说呢 ，If you're scratching your head， 如果你在抓头，就是表示不懂，百思不得其解哈。这个片语很有趣，你就想那个画面就知道了哈。如果你在抓头哈，想不出来到底发生什么事情，或者不知道为什么，不知道是怎么样呢？这个时候 don't feel bad 啊，你不要觉得难过。为什么呢？因为他说 No English speaker， 没有一个讲英文的人会 expect you 会预期 to know 你会知道 that animal's name 那个动物的名称啊，也就是大多数的这个说英文的人呢，大概不会预期你会知道这个名字动物的名称，因为呢 most also don't know of it， 因为大多数的这个 English speakers 也不知道这东西的名称是什么哈。那这个 know of 就是知道啊，通常知道是什么的意思哈。To know that somebody or someone exists， 首先知道有这个东西存在，而且呢还知道说 who、what or where they are， 你还知道这什么东西是什么东西，还有他们在哪边找到，所以叫 know of， 它比 know 多一点点的意思啊。所以这个大多数的这个讲英文的人呢，也不会预期你要知道这个 tapir 这个名字，因为呢大多数的人可能也不知道这个叫做 tapir， 或者什么叫 tapir。Various
species of tapirs have existed for at least 20 million years. These animals have been around for a decently long time. But today, only 4 or 5 species remain. If something remains, it means they're still left here, or they're left over, or they haven't gone away yet. They're still existing.
Yeah, they continue to exist 啊，他们持续的存在啊。Remain 这个 main 呢，我如果没有记错的话，它的这个字根 main 是手的意思啊。那手掌那个手啊，那 re 就是 back 或者 again， 所以还在你的手上的那个叫 remain。所以呢，我们看到这个句子，他说 various species 啊，不同品种的这种貘这种动物呢 have existed for at least 20 million years， 所以至少貘这种动物呢，不同种类的貘至少已经存在了2000万年啊，所以这也是种很古老的动物。但是呢，今天 only 4 or 5， 今天只有大概4或5种的 species remain， 今天只剩下4到5种的啊，所以这个现在剩下的貘的种类不是那么多。
The one species that can be found here in Asia is the Malayan tapir.So there's just one tapir that's in Asia, and that one's in Malaysia, and it's the Malayan tapir.
Yeah, 好，所以呢，有这么一个品种的貘啊 that can be found here in Asia， 可以在亚洲这个地方找到的，也就是在这里可以看得到的，这里有的一种貘呢是什么？就是这个马来貘。
It also happens to be the biggest one. It's the largest of all remaining tapir species. It reaches or it gets to 2.5 meters in length, which is about as long as a person is tall. Well, no longer than a person is tall. It's as long as a person lying on the ground, stretching out their feet and arms. Anyways, big. That's just big, okay? And it can be 300 kilograms in weight, which is a third again as heavy as any adult male.Nope, I'm thinking in pounds. That is definitely 2/3 again as heavy as any adult male.
啊，所以这地方呢，我们可以看到这个，他说 this 就是指马来貘呢 is the largest 是最大的 of all remaining tapir species。好，现在剩下来的这些貘的品种里面呢，马来貘是最大的一种啊。那 reaching 它可以到达，那在这里讲的是长度，所以它的长度可以高达多少呢？ 2.5 公尺啊，所以 in length 就是在长度上面它有 2.5 公尺，比一个成人还要高啊。那还有呢，重也比成人还要重，它300公斤 in weight 啊，所以其实它蛮大只的。
It's the weight of 3 people.
Yeah, 差不多3个人的三个人以上的重量。Yeah.
Which means that if you're on an elevator and a tapir wants to get on, but the elevator's mostly full, you'll have to very politely tell the tapir, please.Take the next elevator.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the buzzer will go off and everyone will be embarrassed.
Yeah, 所以这个tapir 坐电梯的时候呢，可能会常常会超重啊，所以你可能要常常跟 tapir 讲说，对不起，你超重了，请你坐下一班。Yeah.
So the question is, do tapirs have like polite personalities, or will they be rude and shove their way onto the elevator anyways?
I would say the second.
You think that tapirs are rude?
Yeah.
Have you personally met any tapirs?
No.
But you're just judging it on its appearance.
Yeah, exactly. They're made to be rude.
Are you sure? Why? Just because they're low to the ground?
No, just because they're big.
Just because they're big.
Yeah.
They're basically like a mini elephant if you think about it.
Yeah, 其实这个 tapir 你想想，就好像一只小的象一样啊，这蛮大只的，2.5公尺，长度2.5公尺，重300公斤，这个其实蛮大只的。Yeah.
Yeah. But then Bruce here, he tells us, don't let that bulk fool you. He's like, don't let how big it is, how large it is, and how heavy it is fool you. Don't let it trip you up and think that, oh, it's going to be slow and bumbly.
Yeah. 所以呢，那个 bulk 这个字呢，就是大块头啊，就是它可以指 something that is very large， 或在这里就指它 large size 哈，所以呢，不要让它那个大块头把你骗了 ，fool you， 把你骗了哈，你不要看它这么大，你就以为它很笨重啊，没有。
It's just like with wild pigs. Don't think that because domestic pigs are very casual about their lives, that wild pigs are not that dangerous, because they also, just like tapirs, wild pigs, they can run super fast, and if one is charging at you, you can be pretty much dead if you do not get out of its way.
Yeah, 这个就跟野猪一样哈，野猪跟猪大家想到啊，这个家里面那个猪懒懒的啊，也不喜欢动啊，笨手笨脚的啊，你以为野猪就是这样子吗？当然不是，野猪其实非常的灵活，而且野猪它如果冲刺的话，那个力量也是非常大啊，它的体重加上它的速度啊，那个通常你如果不躲开的话，被它直接撞上，大概就会重伤，甚至于可能会被它撞死。
Yeah, pretty much. So the tapir, it can reach a running speed, so a speed while it's running, of up to 48 kilometers an hour. Can people run that fast?
I can.
You can or can't?
CAN. In
Apostrophe
my dream.
T.
Yeah.
Oh, or in your dreams. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because what?
好，所以这地方讲到说呢，这个他说不要让他的这个大块头这个把你骗了，因为 it can reach， 它可以到达 a running speed of， 就是一个奔跑的速度可以到达多少 ，up to 就是高达啊，所以 reach a 什么 speed of， 这是英文常见的一个说法。例如说，你可以说 to reach a top speed of 多少。啊，那就是表示你的最高速度可以到多少？那这一次它的跑的速度最高可以到48公里，1个小时48公里。啊，大家不要觉得48公里还好嘛，各位要把它质量算进去。
Yeah, and also, if you think about it, the fastest speed that people can sprint, we're talking running at their fastest, toppest speed, and that's only for a short while. That's 45 kilometers an hour. So if you think you're going to outsprint a tapir, think again.
好，所以这个 Angel 老师讲的一般的人啊，就跑得很快的人，田径选手呢，大概1个小时可以跑45公里。所以呢，就算是跑得快的这个人类呢，大概也是跑不过这个墨啊。那马的话当然比较快了哈。马刚刚我听 Angel 老师这个刚录音前讲，好像马可以到88 right?
That's what Google says, yeah.
马它可以跑到1个小时可以跑88公里的这个时速。好，所以墨它跑的其实相当的快的哈。大家不要觉得48很没什么，其实加上它的体重那不得了了。
Usain Bolt can run 45 kilometers an hour. You and I don't have that kind of capability.
20, 30 years ago, maybe.
You could run about 20 kilometers an hour? I believe it. Anyways, the whole point of all of this is that you don't want to be in its way. If a tapir is charging, go sideways. Don't try to outrun it. Climb a tree, perhaps.
Yeah, 所以呢，重点是 you wouldn't want to be in its way 哈，所以呢，你不会想挡到它 in its way 就是挡到它的路哈，所以 you wouldn't want to 这英文里面就是翻成中文就是你不会想要做这件事情的，就是 you better not 的意思。
Right. But also, there's this. Fortunately for people, tapirs are strictly vegetarian. So if they're charging at you, it's not because they want to eat you. They're not looking for you.
Yeah, 所以 fortunately 所幸for people 对人而言那这里可能有的人讲说那这里为什么不是用 fortunate 呢？那因为这个地方是指这件事情是对人类而言是蛮幸运的，所以它是一个修饰整个事实的一个 字，所以它这里用的是副词哈。Fortunately for people, you wouldn't say fortunate for people here.
No,
不会哈，你只会说 fortunately for people. 对人来讲呢，这件事情是蛮 fortunately 啊，所以很幸运的对人类而言呢，这个more呢，他们是 strictly vegetarian， 他们不只是 vegetarian， 不只是吃素啊，而且还是严格吃素。好像有的人他说他是 vegetarian， 可是偶尔大家就会吃别的东西，但是呢，这个 more 呢，他是 strictly， 他是非常严格的吃素的。
Now, like elephants, the Malayan tapir has a prehensile snout. Prehensile is a fancy word for meaning it can grab things. So what it means is it can use its nose to grasp objects, which is a very handy trick, honestly.
Yeah, 那就好像大象一样，马来貘呢，它有一个 prehensile snout。我们先看 snout 这个字 ，snout 是口鼻部啊，就像这个大象啊，或者像这个马来貘呢，它是口也是鼻哈，口鼻部哈。那再回来看另外一个字 prehensile， 这个字呢，中文的意思就是适于抓握的啊，它可以缠卷的 prehensile。那事实上，各位看到这个字呢，这个可能会想到什么comprehensive 这个字哈，其实 prehens 这个字根呢就是 grasp 的意思，就是抓的意思，所以 prehensile 就是它可以抓啊。那 comprehensive 或者是这个comprehension 理解就是。come 就是 together 或者是 with， 就是你抓到这个概念呢，就是你懂的，叫做 comprehensive 或者 comprehension。comprehensive 也可以表示这个很多很多的全盘的东西啊，这整体的东西，那就全部都抓起来的意思 comprehensive。
You can grasp everything.
Yeah， 统统抓起来的 comprehensive。 好，那所以呢，他在这里讲他他有一个适于抓握的口鼻部哈 prehensile snout。 然后呢 meaning 意思就是说他可以用他的鼻子呢 to grasp 去抓，这 grasp 其实就是 prehens 这个字根的意思，去抓物体，所以相当好用。
Now, the tapir's trunk, although it's shorter than an elephant's, can be used as a snorkel in the water. All they have to do is stick their nose up above the waterline and they can just walk along the bottom of the river, which is, oh, that's fantastic, honestly.
Yeah.
And the water is where a tapir spends much of its time.
所以这个 tapirs 这个貘它的这个鼻子呢 trunk 就是长长的鼻子呢，虽然比 though shorter than an elephant's 啊，各位注意到的 elephant's 这里要有一个一撇 s， 因为它后面省略了一个 trunk 啊，所以它是 shorter than an elephant's trunk， 它的 trunk 比象的 trunk 还要短一点点啊，因为你两个 trunk 都写出来不好听嘛，所以要省略一个，所以它比象的鼻子短一点，但是呢can be used as 可以被用来当做一个 snorkel， 就是一个呼吸管 in the water， 在水中的呼吸管。那 where 就是指水 water， a tapir spends much of its time， 就是 tapir 会在水里面过大多数的时间，也就是说它大多数的时间是在水里面。
It, meaning the tapir, is an excellent swimmer. They're very good at swimming, and they can even walk along the bottom of rivers.
那他们是很棒的游泳者，也就是他们很善于游泳。那英文就是这样讲啊，他是 excellent swimmer， 而且他事实上他可以 walk along， 他可以沿着 the bottom of rivers， 他可以沿着河的河底在走路，所以他可以在河底下走路，然后一根鼻子伸上来当做一个呼吸管。
Malayan tapir babies couldn't be cuter. If they were cuter, we would all die of cuteness overload.
所以呢，马来貘的这个 babies 这个实在是不能再可爱了，这非常可爱的意思。
They're about the size of a watermelon when they are born, and points to Bruce for a very good, that's a fruit shape that's also a tapir shape. Do you know what I mean? You can really imagine this watermelon tapir baby.
Yeah.
Oh, now I want a watermelon tapir baby gongzai. Seriously, that would be good.
Yeah. 那这个，所以呢，这个小 baby tapirs 他们大概 about the size of 它的大小大概就是一个西瓜when they are born. Yeah.
So, but they also have reddish-brown fur with white stripes and dots. So they're also vaguely watermelon striped. But the point of it is this is the same kind of color that white-tailed deer have when they're born. Because the babies can't run that well. They can't outrun predators. So they need to be able to hide in the sunlight-dappled forest floor. They need to blend in. So that's the kind of coloring you have when you're going to hide on the ground or hide in the foliage.
所以呢，这个地方其实是保护色了哈。所以他们生下来的时候呢，他们是有这个 reddish brown 就红棕色的这个毛皮 fur 哈，然后呢有 white stripes 有这个白色的条纹，还有 dots 还有斑点，这些都是帮助他们能够躲在这个草丛里面啊，或者是能够躲起来，好不要被人家看到的一些保护色，不然的话他们还小，没有办法跑。如果这个掠食者来的话，根本没地方跑，所以最好的办法就是把自己藏起来，不要让人家看到。
Now, mature adult tapirs, they look different.
但是呢，这个发育成熟的这个成末这长成的这个末呢，它们看起来是不太一样的 ，look different。They
have black fur on their front and back and are white or gray in the middle. These guys don't need to hide.
Yeah, 那因为它这个长大了嘛，就不必怕掠食者了啊，所以他们呢有这个黑色的毛on their front， 它前面 and back 还有后面是黑色的毛，那中间呢 in the middle 是什么呢？是 white or gray， 是白色或者灰色。
If you have never seen or even heard of tapirs before, they are just one of the many wonderful surprises Mother Nature has in store for you.If somebody has something in store for you, it means that they're holding it ready for you to find.
也就是准备好要给你的，准备好等你来找到的东西这个就是 to have something in store for you， 准备好了等你来拿，等你来找到的意思。所以他这个句子他说，如果你这个从来没有听过或者是看过马来貘的话呢，那你就知道一下，他们只是大自然会这个很棒的一些 wonderful surprises， 要准备好给你的一些很棒的一些惊喜，准备好要给你看的这样的一些惊喜。
All right, now we have a wonderful surprise in store for you. We have some questions about the article. Yay! Number 1 is, according to the passage, which of the following statements is true?
根据本文，以下哪一项叙述是正确的呢？
The answer is D. The Malayan tapir's nose is useful for grabbing things.
好 ，grab 跟我们文章里面的 grasp 意思差不多，当然有一点很细微的区别那在这里就抓的意思，所以它正确答案是 D。正确的叙述是马来貘的鼻子对抓东西来讲很有用。
Number 2, what does the last sentence in the second paragraph suggest? And the last sentence in the second paragraph says, Fortunately for people, tapirs are strictly vegetarian.
Yeah, 所以这一句话也是第二段的最后一句，暗示了什么呢？
The answer is D, that if tapirs were meat eaters, if they were inclined to eat people, for instance, they would be very dangerous for humans. But they are not.
Yeah, 答案是 D。如果貘是食肉动物的话，它们对人类来说会非常危险但是还好，它们不是，它们是吃素的。
Number 3, according to the passage, which of the following animals has a prehensile tail? And prehensile was, of course, the word in the third paragraph that means can grab things.
所以根据本文，以下哪一种动物拥有可以抓取物品的尾巴呢？
The answer is, of course, B. The only animal here that can grab anything with its tail is B, the monkey.
好，答案是 B 因为我们可以看到这些动物里面呢，只有猴子的尾巴，它可以抓住这个树枝，所以正确答案。
And number 4, which of the following details about tapirs is not mentioned in the passage?
本文没有提到下列哪一个关于貘的细节呢？
We talked about their kids, where they lived, what they ate, but we did not talk about A, their mating habits, which is how do they produce new kids?
好，那我们正确答案是 A， 他们的交配习惯。我们有讲到这个小的马来貘，还有讲到这个长大的马来貘，可是我们并没有提到他们的交配习惯，所以这是没有提到的细节，所以它是正确答案。
Okay, that's all we have for you today about tapirs, but please join us again next time for more Ivy English.